basically I feel like a human being. And I am a physical human being, and I have a great need to express myself. And since I'm physical, I use the body as a tool to expression. And for me, there's no separation between being a human being, being an artist, being a teacher. Teaching is a laboratory. So I use actually the teaching to develop also the artistic skills that I use in my own work and to research on material. Teaching is a weird thing. I don't like teaching in the sense that you tell people what is right or wrong, but I like it in the sense that you offer opportunities for them to grow as artists. You can offer a frame where people can research their own sources of creativity, and you can offer some tools through which they can develop their own skills. Working solo is a great liberty, because you don't have to struggle with anybody else than yourself. You're responsible to yourself, and you can go much deeper into material because the distance between the vision and the media is very short. It's much longer if you have to transmit your vision to other bodies. I feel it a great liberty to work by myself. And of course it's lonely, but lonely also is, it's not just a negative thing. Nowadays we have a tendency to perceive it only as something negative, but I think it's basically something positive, because human beings are lonely, and we are alone when we're getting born, when we're dying, we are alone. It's not instincts, but many people use the word instinct as the same as drives. Drives is what make you have sex, which makes you care for children, which makes you defend your territory, fight, flight. I mean, many people call it instinct, but actually in scientific way you distinguish between instincts and drives. You know Freud? Yeah. So he speaks about drives as the basic, how can I say, force of the human life that makes us survive. It's also the need to eat, it's the need to sleep, it's a need, it's basic drive. Yeah? So this piece, it speaks about the drives, and it's trying to reveal how the forces of the drives work in the solitary body. Next year, actually 1 year from now, I'm going to do a piece on the same theme, but with 52 performers. So this is how the drives work in a mass in plethys, how it works when we have many people together, because also the drives are what makes us start a war, what makes us create nations, what makes us say we are the good ones, we are the bad ones. This is the negative sides of drives when they are not in sort of a natural balance. So the piece you saw, this is how they work in a solitary book. So in the way you can say, yes, it's a piece of a life of anybody, because it's something that's basic and universal for all human beings, in all times, in all parts of the world. The light, the sound, it's live music. We don't have the musician on stage in this piece, because to put another body there, then you cannot focus on a solitary body, then there are two bodies, and we have a problem within this context. So we decided that the musician is in the booth where the light designer is, and he is working on an electronic composition. So he's manipulating sound live with the computer. The sounds are composed, but since he's doing it live, every night is a bit different. And also the timing between the body, the sound, and also the light, which is driven by hand, is every night different. According to how we feel, and according to how the connection to the audience develops. And that is, of course, a liberty that we can take ourselves, because I'm solo on stage. If we had more people and things has to be timed between them, it would be much more difficult, this aspect. And then for the space, all my pieces are developed for certain spaces. Some are more site-specific than others, but every time the space is very essential for me. That means the version of the performance when it premieres, this is one version, and then the version that tours is a different version, because I have to make a version that can very easily adapt to any kind of space. Like for instance here in all of you, there's a strange corner in the back of the stage, and that means I choose to find a way how to work with it, so it actually changed my choreography. So there's 2 or 3 scenes that are a bit different because I choose to use this aspect of the space and not ignore it. Yeah, so in this sense we try to always adapt the new space. I did a workshop here in Athens on the South Pacific. We went to this small park close to Theseo, ανάμεσα σε αγορά Theseo, and the participants were working on sensorical mapping of space. And the first step into this research, you are blindfolded, and one person is guiding you to taste, to smell, to feel, to hear a space. The only sense that we don't use in this exercise is eyesight. So we went there, and we were quite a lot, we were like 14 people, and there was a lot of homeless people, there was a lot of junkies, and there was a lot of people who were having a difficult time in their life. And at one point, there was an old guy who was playing a guitar in the street, and he was resting in the park. And some of the girls came closer, and he got very interested. He was looking, very soft, very open, completely different presence than what you have in the normal street when you meet people that are on the edge of society. And he started talking to us. And in the end, he was moving with the girl, and he took out his guitar and he was playing for her. She was blindfolded, couldn't see him, and they were actually performing together. And it was a very gentle and beautiful moment. It was like creating a space of sensitivity, which was normally not existing in this space, because it was a very hard space. It's a space for people who are on the edge of society, facing a lot of problems, and often facing people who either throw them away, say go away, either telling them to go away or not facing them at all because they're scared. But suddenly it was a different space, and there was an allowance for a different kind of communication that happened. One of the junkies was completely bloody nose and not Greek, speaking very broken English and broken Greek, came up and asked, "What are you doing?" And I tried to explain to him what we were, and he was just standing there and watching, and I asked again, and this is happening, he was totally engaged. And this moment I find very strong, and this I think is what art can do. We can try to create a different kind of space where a different kind of communication can go on, where we trespass those borders of social life, social classes, and pre-connotations of who are you, who am I, what can we get from each other. I've been here countless times. It's like, I feel like it's my second home, and I feel very rich having 2 homes.
Typical question, tourist question, typical one.
Δεν είμαι τουρίστρια, παιδί μου.